Welcome everyone to the Fan Show. You know what that means. We have the best supporters of the Burgundy and Gold joining myself. Appreciate you as always for whatever time it is and you're part of the world for joining us. And we want to let you know that you are more than welcome to join this broadcast. All you have to do is email me at thelakeLewisJr.show@gmail.com and we will get you on. And we've got some exciting stuff coming up as the season progresses. I've had several players tell me that they will be joining us and chiming in on this. They have to just get past week one, of course. And of course, if they get past week one with a win, then I expect to see a lot of guys coming in here. So, with all that said, how's everybody doing today?
Great.
Good.
Awesome.
Fantastic.
Awesome.
All right.
Awesome.
And
Ready to hail, baby. Ready to hail.
let's go. And I appreciate you guys, joining. This is on a Saturday for us now. So I think we're probably going to be moving this show to Saturday. So if you're watching and you haven't had a chance to come on because it's Friday, well, Saturdays now. I think that's what we're going to do during the season. It'll make life a lot easier for everyone. All right. So let's fire this thing up. The big one's tomorrow against the Giants, right here. I'm literally at the hotel right across from the stadium, and everyone's excited. Everyone's really looking forward to seeing this team in year number 2 under the new regime, pretty much. And I think, from what I've seen in training camp all the way through preseason, let me tell you, this team looks like they're ready to take the next step. And I think they're antsy to show people that they're ready to take the next step. So we're going to go around the horn, get your take on your excitement levels for tomorrow's game. And then also, you can throw in there a prediction for me as well. So if you say 100-0, you might not be able to come back on the show. However, let's be realistic. So we have a newbie in here today, Gerard. So appreciate you joining, my friend, man. I know you reached out and we finally got you in here.
Yes. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you. Welcome. I appreciate you all.
Yeah, you guys are part of the family. Once you join, you have that link. It's a universal link. So anytime we say what time we're going to do the show, just come back on in. So you're part of the crew now. All right.
All right.
So what's your excitement level for tomorrow?
Oh, I'm going to be boots on the ground. I can't wait. I'm going to be there. I mean, I've been going to the first game for the last, 4 or 5 years. I know COVID, we couldn't go, but even before COVID, I always go to the first game. And my reason was, I've been a fan since over 40-some years.
Nice.
I'm 51 years old, and I love the Redskins, Washington football team, the Commanders, and I'm actually cool with the Commanders. I'm actually in love with the W. I have
That's
my car.
it.
My car is decorated with flags. I got everything. I'm a
Right.
diehard fan and everything, and I'm very, very excited for this football season going forward. I told my son, he's like 25 years old, all these years, Dad, why do we support this team? They just lose. And I told him last year, I said, son, you got a good 10 or 15 years of greatness. Now you're going to truly understand and see why your dad always was a Redskins fan. Now you're going to be able to experience what I have experienced.
Good
JD
stuff,
Vibe
man.
is awesome. So that's where I'm at. I'm just so excited. Like I said, I'm pulling out. I live in Williamsburg, Virginia, so I'm not too
Okay.
far. I'm about 3 hours away and
Okay.
everything. So I'm pulling out tomorrow morning at 5:30. I'm gonna be there when the gates open. We tailgating, we doing it all.
I'm gonna come by
So
the. I'll stop by your tailgate then for sure.
okay, that sounds
Yeah,
good.
because
Okay.
I get there like around 6 o'clock, 6 a.m. So yeah, I'll come through. You just
Yeah.
we'll exchange information. Well,
I'm
you
gonna be in
have
the
the
gold.
information.
I'm gonna be in the gold section.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll do that. All
Okay.
right. So good
Yeah, so
stuff.
we
Good
change
stuff.
information or something. I email or I'll give you my number, personal
Okay.
number or something like that.
Okay.
That
Sounds
sounds
good.
great. But I'm ready. I'm
Okay.
hyped. That's
All right.
all I'm gonna say. I'm ready. I'm hyped. I'm
All
gonna leave
right.
it at
Cool.
that.
So we'll let Gerard know. Normally the rules are because he's new. We
I
get
know,
it. It's
25.
the 25 to 30,
I
but that's all
know.
right
I
though. I'm
watch
sure
every week.
everybody's good. All right. So let's get Oscar on real quick because I know Oscar's over in Turkey and he's got to head out soon. So what's going on, my friend? How's it going over there?
Good. Like, good to see you. Good to see the family as always. I'm
Absolutely.
I'm super excited as well. I've been working for a Turkish sports channel for 4 years, commentating NFL games. Like, so the only reason that I
Nice.
chose to commentate on the Monday Night Football game this week is to watch the Washington Redskins Commanders play. So I'm super excited. I watched the highlights of the Cowboys Giants game. The Cowboys didn't look good without Micah Parsons.
No, they didn't.
So hopefully we're gonna beat them twice this year and move on.
So I'm not sure if any of you guys heard my question to coach the other day
Mhm.
about the rivalry, and he knew. See, that's my dude. He knew where I was going, but I didn't want to like just comment on the spit and all that stuff. But he knew
Okay.
about that. And then, he just kept elaborating. He talked about how they had Frankie try to get on him, like playfully, obviously, but in a real game scenario. And he was like, no one stood up, for him as the coach. They stood up for Frankie. So it goes to show you the intensity level that these
Right.
guys have. And I'm uber excited. So let's get around, keep going around. So Josh, what's going on, man?
What's up, everybody? How's it going?
How's
What's
it
up,
So,
going?
Josh?
What's
I
up?
mean, it's just as excited as everybody else. I cannot wait for tomorrow. Um, but I'm also, I'm not crazy. That front four in New York is going to be nasty,
Without
uh,
question.
without question. So talking about putting that O line to the test in week one. Yeah, the youngin and Tunzel and family have got a big task tomorrow. So, but with the fast arm of JD5 getting that out faster than anybody else, I'm a little bit more confident than normal seasons, that's for sure. So yeah, I'm
Exactly.
thinking 35-17 Commanders.
Okay, good stuff. Good stuff. All
Me
right.
too. Me too.
All
Same
right.
score.
All right. So Brandon, you're up. What's going on, my friend? He's another one out there in LA.
I'm
So I appreciate you West Coast guys coming on this early too.
I'm good to see you guys. Good to see the fam. I'm
Hi,
in
Brandon.
Tulsa, Oklahoma right now. Hey, Oscar, what's
Okay.
up? I'm in,
Okay.
and I'm working here for a few days, but had to get up, had to get on this. I was happy to be on here on Saturday. Yeah, really excited. There's just a different energy, different feeling. Last year was, jitters of what's going to happen. This year, I feel like, you know, I think JD5's he's got a mission and he's got a chip on his shoulder, and I think he's got a lot to prove. And I think they're going to come out and really show people why he was the offensive rookie of the year and why Commanders aren't messing around. So I think I would love to see him obviously have like 3 or 4 touchdown passes, maybe a run
Mhm.
in. Who knows? But yeah, I'm ready to see them win. That's it. I'm
All
good.
right. Good stuff. Good stuff. And I don't think Jaden would mind me saying this to you guys. But you heard me talk to him in the presser. But just us by ourselves, in the locker room. Yeah, he said he's tired of hearing that chatter too, as far as that sophomore slump. Just hearing him say that to me tells me there's going to be a lot of people in trouble. you know,
That's the way
for
I
for
feel.
be yeah, because that guy is. It's very rare you find someone that really has, no pun intended here, but has that killer gene in him, and he's a stone cold killer out there,
Yeah.
and just that's the only way I can say it to be nice. you know, he's literally a guy that's going for the jugular, and you know, talked to Javon Kinlaw, and Javon Kinlaw was very complimentary of the Giants, front four and what they're building there. He really was very complimentary. But then he finished it with saying, and I'm going to post all this video for you guys to see too. He said, but uh, I think we're going to show out on Sunday, and people are going to start talking about us and not the other team's defenses. so they know that the narrative that's out there. It's all about the Giants front four and people actually predicting the Giants to win the game, to cover the 6.5 point spread. I'll talk to you about that in a second. What my thoughts are on that. So let's keep moving along here. So Eric, what's going on, Eric?
What's up, Blake? Good to see you again. Good
Good
to
to
hear
see
from
you.
y'all. Yep. Um, yeah, it's so funny hearing this front four. Yeah, they're going to be really good. But like Josh said, with Jaden, with that quick release he has, he can get out the pocket. They're still going to be good and disruptive, but I don't think they're going to wreck games like you will see later on in the season when they face like some of the slower quarterbacks. But I think Sunday, I think with Jaden's ability to move around, right. But yeah, I remember when we had that beast front four, all four first round draft picks, and they didn't really do a whole lot, really. So we'll see
Right.
what they do.
Okay. All right. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, Nick, you're up. What's going on, Nick?
What's up, y'all? How y'all doing?
Good to see you.
Um, yeah, I'm excited. I'm with Gerard, boots on the ground at Northwest. So, um, yeah, I think the front four. I mean, they're talking about the whole front seven. Honestly, I think their back end gets a little undisciplined, and you can see that sometimes. So, I think we'll exploit them there. But yeah, I know I've seen people predicting us to maybe lose, like you said, cover that 6.5. I don't see us losing. It's week one. I mean, we just saw the Eagles, who pretty much trounced everybody, have a 4 point loss or 4 point win against the Cowboys, who everybody was saying, well, we'll see what happens. New head coach and change of staff, losing Micah. But yeah, I've been thinking about prediction. I think um, 31-17.
Okay.
31-17 is what, we're gonna keep a general score, have, four touchdowns and a field goal. Um, but yeah, no, I'm excited. I'm excited for the energy. I'm excited to see everybody at the stadium and see, obviously it's sold out, but we'll see. I think that play you're gonna be able to hear it from the district, I think, on Sunday.
I think you will.
Yeah.
Good call. Good call. Good call. All right, so let's go down. We got Shano is in out in Fresno. What's going on, Shano?
I'm doing well, excited. I'm ready. I'm ready.
There you
So,
go. Nice.
I think it's going to be closer than
hmm
most people think as far as like I'm hearing 31-17. I wish for that, but I'm thinking it's going to be real close to the first 3 quarters. And once that fatigue sets in for that front seven that we're talking about on their defense, the fact that they haven't really played much, I don't know what the weather's going to be, but in the fourth quarter we should open it up. I'm looking forward to the run game, establishing that and seeing who's going to be the alpha running back. I know it's probably going to be committee, but somebody's going to stand out. And usually I'm thinking we're going to go with the hot hand for the run. So we'll see.
Good stuff, man. Good analogy on all that stuff right there for sure. All right, and then our final two, obviously Willis always, is the last person because it just shows up as the last box on the screen for me.
You're just saving the best
Um,
for last.
well,
Big
well, well,
Will.
actually, well, actually, the last person on the screen that I see is Miss Sheila.
Yeah.
Oh, she declined.
Oh, you did pop in.
Yeah,
Hey.
yes, she is. Yes, she is. But go ahead, Willis. We'll start with you. Go ahead. So what do you think?
Okay. Well, I mean, goes without saying, I'm beyond excited. I cannot wait. We're less than 24 hours away from our team playing. I just feel like this is going to be a statement game. I don't think this is going to be a 4 point margin like we've seen the last 2 games of the NFL.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be a true statement. I'm thinking along the lines of Josh of 35, maybe 35-10 is kind of my prediction. I think our defense is going to stand up. I think Cliff is going to dial up a bunch of short plays because he knows that the defensive line is going to be in his face. So like he's going to get rid of the ball as quickly as possible. So we're going
hmm
to wind up having a lot of yak, and I think we're going
Exactly.
to have some exciting touchdowns tomorrow. Um, and to be honest with you, after watching that Dallas Eagles game, I'm even more excited because the Eagles look completely fallible. They don't look like they're going to be the dynamo that they were last year. So I think
I agree.
this
I
is
agree.
our
The
year.
Super
secondary
Bowl
was so good.
slump. Super Bowl slump.
Okay, so
There
so
you
so
go.
we're gonna talk about that. We're definitely gonna get into what we saw with the Eagles game. I might have a different take on that,
Me
but
too.
let's
Me
let's
too.
let's go with Miss Sheila. So I do want to say this little side story. Someone came up to me, Sheila, and said, the lady on your show is are you guys together or something? Because she's like the first lady of the show. And I said, no, 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 no. She's family, of course. Everyone here is family. I said, but we call her the first lady of the show because she's the only female that's on the show
Mhm.
and has always been from day one. So you do have that kind of title there for the show.
Yeah.
Thank you. I say
I was
it
like,
like,
don't get me in trouble at home.
no, 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 not at all. Not at all. I'm just so psyched. My grandson just asked me. He said, "Is a game today?" Because he see we with jersey on.
Everybody's around here with this stuff on. It's crazy.
Well, he texted me just a few minutes ago because I had to open the door for him, and he's like, "Is the game today?" I said, "No, I'm on my podcast." And so he started laughing. He said, "Yeah, but I just saw you with that jersey on." There. We hyped in this house. I mean, my two oldest grandsons live here with me, and we are so hyped. We don't know what to do until tomorrow. I'll be in the stadium tomorrow, so because I'll be working.
Yes, we're definitely gonna link up for sure. I know we text, and so we definitely will make it a point to see you this time for sure.
With the Giants fans, I work on the fan side.
Yeah.
Down aisle, right next to the goalpost. So they're gonna give me a mess, but I give it back to them, even though we're not supposed to take sides. I was mad because I bought me this hat and this Jaden hat, so I went on and looked at it to see if I could wear it, right? The company got no hats except for the company hat or a black hat, but nothing else ordered. I was like, oh, dang on it. I was like,
they kind of tell media like especially like myself, league media, stuff like that. You can't really wear colors that show bias and all that. But I'm like, come on now.
I'm not supposed to act excited. And I'm like, y'all ain't gonna be down here with me when these Giant fans, Dallas fans, all of them start talking trash.
I'm gonna say this, Sheila. I don't think there's gonna be a lot of Giants fans like in years past, and because this sellout isn't necessarily a sellout because in years past, more fans from the opposing teams wanted to be there and they could because the support wasn't there for a bad product. But no.
Good.
This town's a buzz.
So, I had a question about the sellouts.
Well, let her finish and we'll get back to you. Yeah.
I know my ticket holders, so I know they're gonna be in their seats. I had been out last year, I was sick. And then when they saw me at the preseason, they was like, "Oh, my girl back. They happy I'm back because they know I keep it in order." And they talk trash. I talk trash right back. So, and I'm not supposed to. And then I tell them, if you act up too much, all I got to do is put my hand up, and the security be down here on you. So,
right. So let's keep it cordial, or I might have to get you escorted out of the stadium.
Yeah.
For sure.
So. I'm excited, and then that like the preseason, they didn't play on my end, and I was like, they don't even come down here.
Oh wow!
Them two quarterbacks at the end, they didn't come down there on that end where I played. I was like, this is ridiculous. I said, but I ain't got to worry about it the next game because Jaden gonna be all up and down this field. So I'm excited.
Good stuff. And we actually have. I see. We got Will up in here. Toothpick. What's going on, man?
What's good? Sorry, I'm tardy.
No tardies. We just, I figured it's Saturday. We changed the schedule on folks, so it's all good. Appreciate you joining.
Yeah, thank you for joining me on Tuesday. We had a ball. Enjoyed you and JP. I'm ready for the season. Ready.
It's exciting times. It is. It's been a while since I've had this kind of excitement. I can just say just this week at practice, the energy level was just so different. But and then I also see we have someone else that joined in. Oh, Dwayne is in there, and I'll get back to what I was going to say. Let's get Dwayne on first. So Dwayne, what we're talking about is just your excitement level for tomorrow. Does it compare to years past, or is it a little bit more loose now?
Good morning, y'all.
Good morning.
Morning.
Brother Dwayne.
This different, man. I just got to my son's swim lesson, so I'm in Ravens country. I live up near Glen Burnie. And so it's nice this year. I'm out and I see people in their commander's gear when I used to see purple in years past.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And all my neighbors, I live in a cul-de-sac, and all my neighbors, they see me out in my stuff all the time. And one of my neighbors asked me yesterday, he said, you ready for Sunday? I said, I am.
That's
I am.
Just
Mhm.
let
And
them just let them know just let them know that the media guy you come on with thinks that's going to be the Super Bowl, Washington and Baltimore. So, and I'm sticking
hey,
to it
I,
until proven
hey, look,
otherwise.
I'm with you, Lake.
Me too.
My wife is her family was all Ravens fans, but I didn't convert her, so she
That's what
was
see. That's what's up.
she was
That's what's
yelling at the
up.
she was
Hey,
yelling at the TV during the Detroit game with me last year.
So I say
So
this all
yeah,
the time. Whenever
yeah,
I hear a guy say that he converted his wife, I say, well, that's the one thing that you always have because you don't get anything else.
Yeah, I agree.
hey, hey!
That's right.
I got two things real quick. First of all, thanks for welcoming me back with open arms, guys. I know I stirred up the pot a little bit last week.
No.
It's what I do. It's what I do. I love doing it. But second
Denver.
of all, so I love that Ravens Commanders Super Bowl. I'm gonna just throw this out there. I know it's set for Santa Clara 49ers Stadium. How
Mhm.
about we make a little exception, move that to the Naval Academy, have a little neutral site. That's what I'm. I mean, I
You
know it'll
know
never
what?
happen, but
That would be something, man.
that would that
You
would
know
be
what?
something.
Maybe in the future when they move to the new stadium, maybe they could just do it at Old FedEx or Northwest at that time,
Yeah,
just something because it's in Maryland, it could be,
Yeah.
some kind of neutral setup. But no, I think we
yeah,
all want to travel to where that Super Bowl is.
yeah.
So let's let
Nobody,
let's
nobody wants to go out there.
so I was going to tell you guys, the vibe in the locker room this week was so professional, so calm. Nothing was over the top. And I can tell you, I've seen over the top locker rooms and I know what I was going to expect on Sunday. um, just not focused because it was too much chatter, too much fun going on in the locker room during that week. Did not see that this time. I saw guys talking, bonding. Um, but it wasn't just a whole lot, it was very business-like. You saw guys coming in, going into the training room, going to get their food, so they have to check off their calorie intake, all this stuff. I mean, it's so workmanlike, it's unreal. And there's a confidence though. Not mentioning names, but I had several players tell me that they feel like they are a Super Bowl caliber football team. And every single one of them finished it by saying the same thing Coach Quinn said, but we can't say it. We've got to go out and show it. So
Hmm.
it's just they know. They literally know. And I'm just telling you. So I had a prediction of 23-13 Washington. I'm starting to think that it could be more than that. And
Mhm.
I'm saying that because even when I said 23-13, I prefaced it by saying it'll be like the second game up there in New York last year, where although the final score looked close, Washington was never in doubt of winning that football game. They just were, it was almost one of those games, get in there and get out without injury, just do enough to get out. And that leads me now going into the whole Philadelphia thing that we can talk about. If any of you guys think that that team looked vulnerable, please don't
They're
believe
not. They're
it.
not
Their
for
best
Nah,
player
Their
was
sure.
out.
best
Come on.
player, their best player
Yeah,
left the field before the
but
game even really
okay.
started, before the first defensive play took place. So, with that said, it changed the whole trajectory of that
Mhm.
football game. It really did. And none of us in this room thought that the Cowboys were going to be this bad football team. Yeah, you lose Micah, your defense is going to suffer. Trust me. But we knew offensively they're going to be able to put up points on people. That's just the way they are. So I'm saying this. What I saw from Philly scared me. Not because they didn't play their best game. What scared me was they didn't play their best game and they still won the football game. That's the sign of a great team. They just did
Should
what
have
they needed
lost.
to do to get out of there.
They
They
should
they
have.
I mean, should, but how many times did we say that last year with Kansas City? They should have lost. They should have lost, and then the next thing you know, they have 14 wins and they're in the
Yeah,
Super Bowl.
Right.
I was,
It's
yesterday.
just, it's just
I was
when you,
surprised.
yeah, when you have
Sorry.
a quarterback and everyone keeps saying Jalen Hurts isn't this, he's not that. Every time I looked up, Jalen Hurts made the right play
He played a
every
perfect game.
single time.
You
Exactly.
said that. You said it on my podcast. You said it on my podcast on Tuesday, and I told everybody, I said, I'm not disrespecting Jalen Hurts. I just said he's a great player, and I said the players around him are just as great as he is. And you and JP were really quick to say, hey, don't disrespect Jalen Hurts. The one thing that I keep coming back to though is this: is AJ Brown only had one target in that game. They didn't. I mean, maybe it was Dallas's defense. You know, maybe it was Dallas defense. Maybe they was rolling coverage to him. But when
They
they
were.
needed him,
They
he
were.
showed up.
All,
So
but what did you say about Jalen? Think about this. He had 2 touchdown runs. Those were the only plays that could be made in those specific sequences,
All the right
and he
decisions.
made it without even
yep,
thinking. It was just like, "Oh, I'm open. I like. There's no one that can stop me from getting to the goal line here." I mean,
That's
and
because
he
they
took
had no
off.
lane integrity.
Yeah, right. So, but regardless of what Dallas wasn't doing, that guy right there does not make mistakes. He just
True.
doesn't. And
That's true.
as long as he doesn't make mistakes, the Eagles are going to be there in the end. I mean, they're going to be right there. I just think Washington is like everyone talks about Detroit. They talk about the Rams. Some people might even mention Green Bay now with Micah. The difference between all those teams, and no offense to Matt Stafford, because he's a Hall of Famer to me, but Matt Stafford's 38 years old and getting injections in his back now. So the only difference between those teams and Washington is number 5. And
5.
Washington has the best quarterback in the NFC. I don't have any problem saying that. And you're going to need that if you're going to beat Philadelphia in that defense. So I did see some dents in the armor. I will say that on Philly's defense. I'm going to tell you right now, and not to single anyone out, because you guys know my style is not to attack a professional, because I don't want people to attack me as a professional. But if I'm Washington, I'm attacking Dory Jackson,
Oh
and that's
yeah.
exactly what
They,
Dallas was doing. They've got to figure that out. That's a problem.
that,
He
that
was
was
a
like
problem.
hunting St. Juice. That was like hunting Benjamin St. Juice for everybody else
That's
last year.
that's
Who
exactly
It-
what I
who
said.
who
In
was
the
the
game.
other guy that was bad? Mitchell, their D back that
yeah,
was
but
just
I'm
he was
okay with
holding
him.
like
He
crazy though,
he
man. That
he
guy was
he
awful.
he was holding a lot last year,
He
but
was
they weren't
yeah, it's
calling
true.
it.
Yeah,
but
it's
but I
true.
He did
but
it.
I,
Sorry, Josh, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
yeah,
No,
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 no. Yeah, so again, and then we can go around the horn again and get everyone's take on this. Do you feel like the question is, do you feel like after what you saw with both Dallas and Philly, because it was a perfect preview of getting a look at both teams, does it make your impression of Washington winning the division that much greater? Or do you feel like it's really going to be a dogfight maybe with another team? Because the Cowboys showed up, and without Micah, they still were in it with the Super Bowl champ. So we'll start around the horn again. We'll start with Gerard again, and it's Gerard, right?
Yes.
So I got to tell you something. My better half's dad was named Gerard.
Oh,
So
awesome,
yeah,
awesome,
she,
awesome.
she she's gonna love hearing that. So all right, so yeah, what do you think?
Um, I'm ecstatic. I thought the both games were great. I'm talking about the Kansas City game and the Dallas and Eagles game. And the reason why I'm bringing up both of them because we got to play all 4 of those teams
Absolutely.
and whatnot. That's how I looked at it. But I
Right.
thought the Eagles and Dallas went off very well. Their offenses came out. Did Michael Parsons show up? Far as him not being there, yes. 'Cause I don't
Hmm.
think Hurst would have been able to get those easy touchdown runs
Good
without that
point.
spy. He would have spied and had some speed to get there.
Good
But the
point.
defense would have played a little different. But I'm just concerned about us. And I'm not real concerned about our offense too much. I need to see our defense. We have some new additions. The cornerback room is totally different, in my opinion. So I want to see how we look. And that's what
Hmm.
I'm looking for tomorrow with boots on the ground.
Yeah.
Good
So
stuff.
I'm not worried about Dallas. I'm just worried about us. If we come and do our business, we should be there at the end of the year. And the way I'm thinking, since Eagles is a team to beat, we need to handle our business early since we don't play them till late. And then if we handle our business early, we don't have no more than 1 or 2 losses. We can just let that last game go by. We can rest everybody because we already got the division wrapped up. That's my dream. That's my hope and whatnot. So we
Listen,
just got we
I
just
like
got
it.
to be smart. And I'm gonna shut
I like
up.
it.
listen. I think you've acquitted yourself quite well with the group because
Yeah. Uh-huh.
whenever we have a new person join, I can tell everyone's listening. They're just listening, but he
Yes.
knows his stuff.
Oh man,
So
I'm a
yeah,
diehard. I'm
yeah,
a diehard, and I've been watching you all from the very beginning.
that's
So
what's
Stalker.
up,
I
man.
appreciate all of you.
That's what's up.
I
So
got
so
you.
Pick over here
I'm
doing his research too, so you got to be
yeah, of
on
Yes,
course he
now.
but I
is,
want to
of
say this
course.
to you, Lake, real quick, if I may.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I I met you through the Rio Robinson show early
Nice.
last year
That's
when
my
you guys
guy.
started doing that weekly Tuesday, and
Hmm.
that's
Yeah,
when I subbed
Me
you
too.
up. I was like, I love what this guy is saying,
Hmm.
and I can just see I see genuineness in
Thank you.
everything. Like I said, I'm just
Appreciate
like
you.
Miss Sheila and the Rev, some of the old heads who've been going through a lot,
Yeah.
and I've been there, so I appreciate you what you do. I never seen no one actually have this type of platform that you have. So look. Godspeed to you, bro. That's
I
all I'm gonna
appreciate
say.
that so much. And I tell people all the time, I wouldn't be where I am in my career if it wasn't for folks like yourselves, who support me. And, my thing is I've seen some of my colleagues just not interact with fans
Hmm.
or feel like they're up here. That's not cool. It's just not cool. That's not who I
Yes.
am. So anytime like when I'm at the stadium, anytime I see people and they want to talk or they want to take a picture or whatever, I'm all for that. Bring it on. I'm all
All
for
right.
it.
Yeah.
All right.
Because and again, if you can't have these kind of conversations and they're fun, but they're respectful, obviously a couple weeks ago, I had some people coming at me because they thought that I was disrespectful to Terry. And I'm like, I get that you're a fan of
Hmm.
Terry's, but I have a job to do. And those are the type of things that happen. But I always try to tell people, we can differ in opinion on anything, but you have to respect me as a man first. And I respect you guys. And that's why we have this show, this building. And I have some people out there that keep telling me, like, I want to come on your show, but it's probably too late to join. And I'm like, why is it too late? It's never too late. This is an open book. This is an open format. So even if you guys have friends and family and they want to join, give them the link. You already have it. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to build this thing out to the point where when you look at our screen, I want it to look like ants on there because there's so many people in there.
Oh,
We
man.
have it
Right.
set up. We
Right.
have it set up for 250 people. So one day
Woo!
I want 250 faces to be on this screen. I don't know how
That's
we're gonna have
awesome.
a conversation, but
Like keep your answers
Yeah.
to 5 seconds or less.
Yeah.
We might
exactly. That
we
might
might have
you
to
might have
hold
to
that in
write your
Northwest.
answers in or something. So, all right. So let's keep it going. Dwayne, what you think, man?
So the week one is weird, man. So I don't even I put very little stock in the week one,
Man,
but
It's a
Adoree
division
Jackson,
game.
yeah, and it's a
yo,
division.
counts for two.
Yeah, but Adoree Jackson, he fooled, man. He fooled, especially with Debo and with Jalen Lane and Terry. Like, yeah, that man fooled. How they used to do BSJ and Mike Davis last year. That's how we need. That's how we need to do him.
I was just taking notes like
Yeah.
this is almost
You
if
hit
if
that.
if you see it and I see it, do you not think Cliff doesn't see it? He's
Man,
probably
listen.
like, "Ooh, we got a mark.
Yeah.
We found
And I
one."
mean, listen, and I mean, Quinion really, I'm gonna say this, and I might
Mhm.
be unpopular. He can hoop, but Quinion food too, for real. If you look at all the plays he had safety help over the top. Every time CD Lamb was eating that man lunch,
Was.
he
See,
just
they
couldn't
miss.
catch the.
I think they miss Gardner Johnson and
Yes, they do.
For
Darius
sure.
Slay. I
Yeah,
mean,
For
Yeah.
sure.
Yes,
Yeah.
they
I know
do.
I know Darius was older, but that veteran, those veteran eyes do something
yeah,
different.
He hadn't missed a
And
absolutely.
he was always in play. It just looked different to me, like it did. And again, they're still the team to beat. If you're an Eagle fan watching, no one's ever gonna go opposite
No,
of that. This Washington's geared for your team, so
yeah,
we
Yep.
know that. But from what I
yeah.
saw on Monday night, uh, I mean on Thursday night, they got to do something different because they looked a little vulnerable. Now, with that said, before we go on everyone else, you do realize, no Carter changes everything. Now you're putting your
Exactly.
corners on island where if Carter's
Yeah.
in the game, he's so disruptive. You're not covering guys for 3, 4 seconds. You're only covering them for 1 second because he's in your backfield. So that changed the trajectory of everything. But the irony is, Washington has to take advantage because I think he's going to get a couple of games suspension,
Suspended. Mm-hmm.
as he
Yeah.
should. What he did was dumb. There's no other way to put
But
that.
yeah,
You
I
don't
thought it
spit
just
on.
I thought it just came out that they not suspending them, right? I thought I
Yeah, I
saw
don't
that.
think
Oh
they
my
are.
gosh. Well, I did not see
Let
that.
me
So
let me get on that. Let me check that. Let me check that
I
for
Get
you.
it?
think
yeah.
it was likely no suspension. I think is what I saw.
See, that's not. Listen, I understand he's a star player for the Super Bowl champs. I get it. But you have to set a precedent when something like that happens.
Just walk away.
I said when
You
they're
guys
not.
remember? You guys remember they got Sean years ago. You
Mhm.
know, for doing that in Tampa,
Yeah.
and I think he got a game or so.
Yeah.
You know, this is 20 something years later. I mean, social media sees everything. At first I was like, is that gum that came out of his mouth? Because I never in my
It's
life would have
nasty.
ever thought. Now I'm gonna say this too. I'm gonna give Dak
it too.
Prescott some credit. I'm gonna get. I'm gonna.
Oh,
I'm
he
gonna. I'm
balled.
gonna
He
tout.
baited him.
No. I'm gonna tout him just the fact that he didn't retaliate. Because if
Yeah.
that were me,
Yeah.
there might have been a whole nother story written up how the police had to come on the field because you're not going to spit on me. I don't care if it's
No.
through a helmet or not. So with that said, I just thought that maybe a 2 game suspension or 1 game was warranted. But let's face it, come on now, we can say it.
Superstar.
Those are Super Bowl champs, and they understand the magnitude of how the league set up these games late in the year against the Commanders. You suspend that guy for 2, 3 games, they could be in trouble for 2, 3 games, just the way they looked the other night. You,
Casey.
you don't you don't want that. This whole thing is set up for a juggernaut meeting
Yes,
at
it
the end of the
is.
year.
Yes, it
All right,
is.
so let's go on. Let's move on real quick. Let's get to Brandon. What you think?
I mean, obviously, not having Carter showed, it showed. But I mean, still, like, I don't think the offense was as teed up as it normally was. Yes,
Yep.
what Saquon had his yards.
Mhm.
Jalen had those great plays, those 2 run-ins. That was really nice. But like, I wasn't expecting Dallas to be holding on to them. I mean, Dak looked good. Obviously, there was no pressure coming up the middle from Carter. But I mean, I was shocked kind of with Dallas's offense. Their defense was not good.
No.
And Fowler, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
he did not look good at all, man. I'm kind of glad we got rid of him.
I'm
So
gonna stay
Yeah.
quiet about that.
there were some ugly misses in that whole
Looking for him. I
situation.
said, what's his number? He 13.
13, yeah, 13.
Yeah.
There was a lot of
No, I'm gonna
misses
stay quiet
on
on
his thing.
that.
But I mean, look, it was good for Dan and company to see that, and don't think Jaden wasn't watching because he was watching.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
I just look, I think Dallas surprised me on the offense to hang with him. Obviously, no Carter, but I also think that the Eagles are that's a team we're built to beat, and I saw a little bit of a weakness there, and I think they're gonna, Dan's gonna remember, man, and obviously JD5's gonna memory like an elephant, bro. That kid's gonna remember and find all those weaknesses. So
All right.
it was good to
Good stuff.
watch. It was good to watch.
Okay, good stuff. So I'm gonna do this. I know everyone's probably got a take on this, but I did want to change gears just real quick, and we'll start with the folks who didn't get a chance to answer the last thing on the new thing. Um, but I want to talk about. Obviously, everyone's talking about the Giants. Let's go back to this game. Everyone's talking about the Giants front seven, especially front four, stuff like that. Have any of you thought about how disrespectful that might be to the fact that Washington did upgrade their offensive line?
Mhm.
And I understand Sam's not playing. Sam Cosmi will be back week 5, I think. But Laramie Tunsil's no chopped liver. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Josh Connolly's been looking like just the next coming, and he's starting. Remember, I told you guys he was going to start. So he's starting. How important is it? And this is the question, and we'll start with the folks who didn't get a chance to answer the last one. How important is it, do you think it is for this team, for Washington to come out with this new offensive line, not so much worry about the pass rush that'll be coming, but be able to run the football into the Giants, into the teeth of that defense. So let's start that up. We'll start with Josh. What you think?
Yeah, I I think that they're overlooking it. Nobody's picking us. They're all thinking that front four, front seven from Dallas, from New York is gonna kind of take over. I think they're looking past our upgrades. I really do. Um, it's gonna be a real test tomorrow. That's to be sure. I love
Mhm.
these conference games straight out the gate because it is a big test, big
Yeah.
in this.
Good
And
stuff.
a little touch on that last one. I mean, that game was two teams without their best defensive player within 2 weeks, and 60 seconds before the game. That's what we saw. I was gonna bring up Adoree Jackson, but you already did. That kid needs some work. They got holes, and don't think we're not gonna take advantage of that.
Yeah, I mean, no offense to Adoree Jackson. We're not trying to call him out or anything. He's been in the league for a while. I remember him back at USC. I liked him then. But he's replacing Darius Slay, who was a Pro Bowler. And, Howie Roseman normally doesn't make mistakes. That doesn't look like that's not an upgrade at that corner position. Let's
Oh,
just put it that way. Okay. All right. So let's keep it moving here. Let's go with Willis. What see, Willis, I'm not gonna make you wait last. All right.
All right.
Okay.
Um, so I think we're going to be successful on the ground against the Giants because, well, first of all, I mean, I think the fear of Jaden like keeps the defensive line quite honest. And I mean, the fact that he's so quick with his release, they have to be prepared for that. And I think that's going to open up the run game for us. And everything that I've been watching on the Giants side, they're all so convinced that all we do is run to the edges. I think it's going to give us an opportunity to maybe sneak up the right up the center a few times and make some decent yards. And hopefully Bill's the one carrying it because I think he can do something magic. I want to see him have a hell of a game. Like I'm so excited for him.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought him up because there were a couple of people. I don't know how it got out, but like during the week,
hmm
I had someone come up to me and say, actually, it was my brother-in-law had called me and said, I'm seeing that Krosky Merritt's not playing. And I said, where are you seeing this?
Yeah, that's
He
how
was like, he said, well, they are saying, and I told him, I said,
I'm
bro,
listening
how
today.
how many years have I said I'm they? Like I'm there every day. They are not saying that Bill's not playing because he's playing. And I said, so that's just stuff people throw out there and social media just runs. I go up to Bill in the locker room. This was Wednesday. And I said, man, I said, so you're not playing. And he looked at me and he said, where's this stuff coming from? I said, do not look at this stuff and do not listen to it. I said, we know you're good. He said, I'm perfectly fine. Again, this is the kind of stuff that you have to deal with sometimes. But he's a rookie. He didn't know. And I'm like, listen, you're going to find out a lot of stuff. You might find out that that you playing for the Raiders tomorrow. Don't believe all this nonsense that comes out. So just wanted to throw that out there. He's good. He's playing. Trust me. And I
That
think he's going to have
that's
a big game.
that's why I asked you that question last week about is all four running backs going to suit up because they all got different strengths. They all are superior in different parts of the game. So that's
Hmm.
why I'd asked you because you look at them, it's like there's no way they're going to sit one of these guys out, especially if they're trying to keep fresh legs going on the field,
Absolutely. And
pass
they and
blocking,
they and they
and
plan
special.
on running the football.
Yeah,
That's how
and
you attack a team that likes to pin their ears back. You run into the teeth of them. And I agree, with the last comment that Tyler B. Addish, I think, is going to have a Pro Bowl year at center. And I think that you're going to see that. They're going to run some counter trades like in the old days. You saw that in the preseason. They're going to do
Yeah,
a
with
lot of different
Addison.
things. But I can assure you the first drive or two, you're going to see plays that you definitely did not see in preseason. I
of
saw them in
course.
practice, but you didn't see them. Trust me on that. And they're going to be coming in waves all over the field as far as how they're going to spread the ball. The ball is not just going to be vertical. It's not going to just be to the edges. It's going to be in the middle of the field. Listen, so we'll finish this, but then I'm gonna ask you guys to give me your game ball player, and then we'll wrap up today. Okay. So let's keep going though. Shauno, what you think, man?
Oh, well, I want us to go back to the suspension. I think that suspension is over. I think he did his one game, speaking of the Philadelphia Spitter.
Mhm.
I think
I
the way
like
that
that. I like that.
That's a good
I think
name.
the way that they played is really not how it's going to look. It's still like preseason. We really won't know how a team looks until like week 3. Everybody's still trying to get their football legs under them, that type of thing, game time legs. I think offensively for us on the line, I wonder if we brought Connerly, if we expedited his starting situation because of Abdul Carter and how well he did against him when he was in Oregon.
Great
So
points.
yeah, I'm interested to see how that's going to work. But and then I had another question, if you can answer later on down the road. When they say sellout, what's the definition of that? Because I've heard sellout, and then I look on the TV and I see all the top levels completely empty. So how does that work?
Yeah, it's X amount of seats that are sold.
Okay.
So, like, if you have a capacity in a stadium that's 80,000, I think the sellout is okay. So, just try to make this as simple as possible. If you don't hit a certain amount of seats, your game would not be sold out and it would not be able to be
So,
broadcast in
Yeah.
your local market.
Gotcha.
So there's a reason why a lot of small town teams you can't see their games in their towns. I mean, not so much like the Steelers, but I've been told there's been times, I don't want to call those teams out because I got to go there this year and cover these teams, but certain teams just don't sell out games. I think it's no secret that Jacksonville over the years you're not able to watch their games in Jacksonville all the time. So
Carolina.
that's just how it works. Carolina is exactly, they're the same thing. And so with that said, Shauno, this game sold out though, meaning when I say sold out, I think every seat in there is going to be sold
I hope so.
from bottom to top. I don't think you're going to see any empty seats in there. But the thing that we're looking for, and I know Michelle can attest to this too, working at the stadium as well. It's going to be sold out with at least 70% Commanders fans. And you just don't see that, or you haven't seen that. You started to see it last year, but I think you're going to start seeing games be like this for every game. And then maybe when the Cowboys play, it might be 60-40 Commanders fans. But trust me, in years past, it was like, I mean, when the Chargers played here a couple years ago, we're talking about, I have a friend that lives out there in LA, and Brandon probably can attest to this. They don't have a fan base in LA. The Chargers are like
They don't.
renters in LA.
Yeah.
Well, they played first game of the season here, and it was literally 70-30 Chargers fans. It was powder blue all over the place.
Yeah.
And my boy calls me and says there were more fans in Washington than they got out here. So those days are over though. We're not going to be seeing that like that. So all right, so let's keep going. Sheila, what you think?
well, I think I want to see Debo.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think they're going to use him a lot too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And he's fast, so I'm excited about watching him catching or running, whichever one he does, because he is fast, and I know he seems to be excited. He's ready, so
Absolutely.
that's what I'm excited. And the running back, I know he's going. He after he did his little thing and Jaden went and got that ball, he's already revved up too. So I think running game is going to be good.
Good points. Good points. Another thing people don't realize is, when they talk about, excuse me, that they got rid of Brian Robinson and
Well, you look at some of them games last year.
yeah. But I think people have to understand that they have 4 backs on the roster. Technically, they have 6 because Debo is a guy that you can move back there and do different things with, and Jalen Lane. Remember the name. I'm telling you guys, that's baby Debo. They do so many things that are similar, so they can hit you in different ways of running the football. And actually, they have 7 because can't discount Jaden.
Jaden, exactly.
Right. So
Rookie runner from last year.
absolutely. So they're going to be able to run the football, and it's going to be maybe not as conventional as in years past. Like you just hand the ball off to Clinton or Riggins if you're old as me to remember that. But it's going to be different, and it's still going to be effective though. So let's final 2 here. So let's go with Will and then Willis, and then we'll move on to one more topic that I want to get with you guys and see what you think. Okay, so Will, what you think?
All
Or
right.
Will?
So
Yeah. hmm
you going with Willis
No,
or
no,
Will?
Will,
Go ahead.
Will.
Okay,
See,
I
I
got
was
you.
getting ready to
All
call.
right.
I was getting ready to call you Willis, but it's Will. Okay, so go ahead. There you go.
Yeah. Okay, so back to the suspension thing. I'm reading here from Tom Palacero. He said spitting is usually ordinary of a fine, not a suspension. Plus, like you said earlier, he pretty much didn't even play that game. So he's prepared to, for a fine. Um, one more thing. If that had happened to Jaden and it was in Northwest Stadium, they would have to get a police escort to get that player out of there because we're not having that in DC in the DMV. We're not having that. So yeah, don't mess with JD5. What do I think? I think that this Commanders team is about to shock the world on in the trenches.
hmm
I don't care about the edges, the quicks. I think that we're going to dominate people like we used to in the trenches when we had the Hogs, when we were winning Super Bowls, right? We're going to dominate them with the defensive line. Don't forget we had, Dave Butts, Dexter Manley,
Mm-hmm.
Dexter Mann. You can't forget those people.
Charles,
And
man.
Charles, man.
yeah,
Yep.
Charles Mann.
hmm
You
hmm
can't forget, the Ken Harveys that we had, right?
Yeah.
These were the names of the peoples that we had when we were running the division. This is when so I think it's all going back there. If you don't address the trenches, you have no shot. And we have a shot because they didn't like the size of the defensive line last year. We went and got bigger. I'm expecting Kinlaw to be a man child. Uh,
Dedrick
unleash that
Wise
man.
too. Don't forget about
Yeah,
Dedrick
I am
Wise.
not discounting Mr. Wise,
hmm
but I want to see it from both of those players because if they can be disruptive the way that we know they can, the potential that they have, if they can be
hmm
disruptive, can you imagine what'll happen with Deron Payne being one-on-one? Can you imagine what'll happen when Frankie Louvu has a one-on-one? And then don't forget when you bring in Vaughn to close the game. So I'm looking forward to our offensive defensive lines being dominant.
Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, Willis.
Oh man, I
With the sleep.
yeah, no. I'm just trying to think of how to answer this one. I just think that we're going to have an excellent running game. I mean that's my big thing is I see with that front four, the front defensive line, you break through that line and you're going to have a lot of yak. I mean, or a
hmm
lot of runs, after contact, and I think that's what Bill's specialty is. I mean, he maintains his feet, and he's going to. I see Bill having an extraordinary day. That's my prediction for this game.
Okay, so
Hey,
stay right there, Willis,
Lake.
because yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
If I may, can I respond to that offensive line thing against the Giants front seven real
Sure.
quick?
Sure.
All right, cool. This is my point added. They really only added Abdul Carter to their front seven, correct?
And
hmm
his front seven was nasty last year.
Right. They were great last year. He's the only newbie. And no disrespect, we added two new people, Connolly and Laramie.
hmm
Right. So I'm expecting us to be great. I was there last year, the second game with the first home game when we played the Giants, and we just marched up down that field against that front seven all day long. We
hmm
just had false starts in the
Points.
hmm
red
Yeah.
zone,
For getting
and
the
we had to keep doing field goals, field goals, field goals. So no disrespect to them. I think we're going to be much greater because we have much better talent, and pretty much it's going to be speed. We going
hmm
for speed, 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 and you add that speed with JD5. I think our offense really should be unstoppable unless we beat ourselves. And to me, I see every game as a playoff game this year. The schedule is so tough; it's almost a playoff game no matter who you're playing. So that's what I really want to say, and I see the score of 35-20 on tomorrow.
Okay. All right. So that's good stuff. Good stuff. So let's do this. We have about 10 minutes. Okay. Are you guys okay with that?
Yep.
Oh yeah, I'm
That'll
good.
work.
Okay. All right. So let's do this in like 10. So everyone try to keep your answers 30 seconds or so. Okay. So we can get everyone in there and we can talk a little bit more about it towards the end. but I want to get your game ball. Like, for who do you think is going to be the most valuable player of tomorrow's game? It could be a Giant if you think it's going to be a Giant. I know none of you think it's going to be a Giant, but let's go ahead and fire that up. So I'm going to start with Willis. We're going to go back now counterclockwise. So Willis, what you think?
Well, I'm going to go with the broken record here. I think Bill, his first rookie game, I think he's going to get a game ball.
Damn. All right.
Okay. All right.
I think he
Okay.
picked him up in his fantasy league.
No, I don't play fantasy.
Okay.
That's
All right.
the
So,
taxi squad.
all right. So, Will, you're up. What you got?
My my game ball goes to the scoreboard operator because I think we about to put a hurting on that thing. So I think we about to put a hurting on that. I think
Carpal
for real,
tunnel.
I think that Cliff is going to be in this bag, and I hope he doesn't take his foot off the gas.
Okay. All right. Okay. So you're gonna give Cliff the game ball then?
Basically, yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Sheila.
Jalen.
All right. Jalen Lane.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Nice. Okay. I like that. I like that. Sean O.
Another rookie.
I'm gonna go with the whole offensive line.
Okay. All right. Now you
I
guys trying to
appreciate that
outthink
one
each
for
other.
real.
See, now y'all trying to outthink each other. That's okay. All right. So Nick, what you got?
I'm going Coach Joe Witt. He's gonna have that defense humming.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
I
Okay.
was I was gonna say Debo. I'm not going not, or I'm gonna go out the box a little bit. Say Coach Witt. I think probably 3 or 4 turnovers. I don't
Okay.
If we have 4 turnovers, I will lose my mind.
Oh my God, yeah.
This is
Yeah,
what I
I
do.
talked to Percy about that, does he feel like having that defensive front that I know I've been seeing, does he feel like they're gonna give him opportunities back there? And he said, yeah. He said they talk about it all the time as far as, picking balls off, punching balls out. Like that's a big deal for them now because they saw that's what Philadelphia did to them last year.
Yep.
So Josh, what you think?
Well, Shano hit it on the head, but I speak about the offensive line too much. But I got this on today.
Lou
Yes, he
Frankie.
got Lou.
Frankie, because this is year 2 of Joe Witt and Coach Quinn's defense, and it's time to hit those balls out. You're right on that. Yeah, it's time. I want to see some more defense this year.
Okay. All right. Good stuff. And then Gerard, there you go.
I'm going with Trey Amos. Last year against the
Nice.
Giants, it was
Mhm.
all about that wide receiver they got.
Malik
I'm going
Neighbors.
with Trey
Yep.
Amos.
Three
He's
of
gonna get
us
the game
chose
ball.
rookies. Wow.
All right. I
Trey
mean, and
Amos.
that listen, well, I can say it. I mean, it's okay. I'm working on an article that's talking about,
Is that
and
gonna
I
be on
wanted to wait till
heavy.com?
yeah, it's gonna be on heavy. Yep. So I
Ooh.
wanted to wait till after the game just to see how the rookies did. And obviously you guys are calling the rookies out as far as your game ball, so you're expecting for all of them to excel. But the
Yes.
article's gonna be potentially this draft class from last year, not 2024, but this year's draft class, although it was only 5 players,
Mm-hmm.
it's
Mm-hmm.
got the potential to go down as one of their best draft class ever. And I mean that from top to bottom, because you're going to get production from these guys. Even Kane, I know he might be out of all 4, he might be the one that take some steps to get in there, but he's going to get some reps at the linebacker
Learning
spot.
from.
Yeah, so he may not it may not be to the tune of what the other guys are getting rep wise, but I promise you by the end of the year, Kane's going to be a part of what they're doing defensively because he's too athletic and fast not to be out there. But when you look at Josh Connerly starting right tackle,
Yeah.
Trey Amos starting cornerback, Jalen Lane the third receiver pretty much. I
Right.
mean, my gosh, and then Bill, your 7th rounder,
Yep.
potentially being your featured back.
Ooh,
I mean, if
that's
you ever wanted to know, and again, people say, "Oh, you're always talking about Adam and Dan like those your boys." Well, they are. So I'm just saying, isn't that what we wanted? Was a competent front office that could
Yep.
evaluate talent. They're drafting 7th rounders, and these guys looking like superstars in the making. That's what you want. That's what you want from your organization. So my question to you is, in wrapping up here, like next 3-4 minutes. Um, how excited are you as far as this year's rookie class? And do you feel like this
Yes.
class has the potential to be like it? So we'll start
Hey,
with Gerard here.
Yes, I'm very excited. I think we drafted very, very well considering how many picks we had to offer this year. I'm
Mhm.
very excited. The sky is the limit on every one of them.
Okay, good stuff. Will, I saw you try to jump in. So what you got?
no disrespect to last year's draft class, right? But I got to address it this way. Everyone's talking about Ben Sinnott, right? Why
Hmm.
can't he make the field? Well, he has should be Hall of Famer in front of him,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm. Hmm.
But McCaffrey, on the other hand, when
Hmm.
you're on the field and you're not getting the targets, and then we draft a wide receiver, and you clearly see him getting the targets, that's telling you that our front office is not playing. When they say competition everywhere, they
Hmm.
absolutely mean it. So if there are 5 people in the room and they bring in 3 more, that's because they're trying to get the best 5 in the room. And I love that for this team
Mhm.
because they want the best people on the field all the time. And it doesn't mean just because you got drafted that you're going to make the team
Right.
Hmm.
like previous regimes. We're keeping the best 5. It doesn't matter where you got drafted. And for us to have a 7th rounder that made the team that we saw that has that speed, that has that elusiveness and can hit his head on the goalpost, that means that they're doing the right thing. So I'm
And
very, very excited for this draft class.
and the other thing I would add on that is just because you might be a player that was drafted and you're not playing a lot, they're not giving up on you. They're still trying to develop you. So they go out and sometimes get players that at your position as veterans, as like I'll give a perfect example is Percy. They love Percy, absolutely love Percy, but they lost Jeremy Chin. So they didn't just say, okay, it's all on Percy because they feel like Percy is still developing and he's turning into a really solid football player. But they go out and they get Will Harris. So what they're doing is they want to make sure they're 2, 3 deep everywhere, literally across the board. I mean, look at the quarterback spot. We saw Sam Hartman struggle in
Mhm.
preseason. We saw Josh, he struggled at times and he made some plays at times. But you knew that those 2 guys weren't going to be their backup quarterback. It's Marcus. But
Mm-hmm.
they just needed Marcus to get himself ready. And he's earned that as a veteran. So that's why you didn't see him. But guess what? Marcus being uniformed tomorrow is the number 2 quarterback.
Mhm.
It's all everything they do now just
Thank-
makes sense.
It's by
It's
design.
common
By
sense. It's
design.
by it's by design. And
Can I
and
say, can I say
go
one
ahead.
more thing?
Absolutely.
Um, Everyone knows that Howie Roseman in Philly is the GM of the century, but Adam is coming.
He is.
Yeah, and Howie knows that too.
How he
Don't
knows it.
think don't think the Eagles didn't get Ladarius Smith yesterday,
Right.
Exactly.
thinking, okay, we got to get more of a pass rush because they know what's coming,
Hmm.
and that's all I'm saying. Everything that was done. Remember, we were having these conversations months ago about Terry's definitely resigning. Don't stop the whole is he getting traded? There's no way. And I kept saying he's going to resign. He's going to resign. He's going to resign. Obviously, we didn't know it was going to take as long, but we
Hmm.
knew he was resigning. And the reason for that is simple. You don't go out and trade for Laramie Tunsil. You don't go out and trade for Debo Samuel to let Terry walk. I mean, everything they did was to bring everything they had back in tow and build on it, add some more things there. And when we talked about the offensive line and we were talking about how it's going to be, they added 2 new pieces. Technically, I consider they added 3 new pieces because Brandon Coleman's moving inside. And man, that dude, I'm trying to tell you right now, one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet, but he is a dog on the field. It just all of these guys are nice guys you go to church with. But when 1 o'clock hits, they're different people. Like move out the way. And that's what I'm excited about. So my friends, um, this was good today. This was good. So if you guys are okay with the Saturdays, I think we can do this because, like I said, it's gonna be tough for me to do them on Friday. So if you guys are okay with Saturdays, let's make it a thing. And we'll get them in. We'll get them in like in an hour. From 10 to 11, and then you guys still have the rest of your Saturday. So if you guys are okay with that, let's do it.
Do it.
Let's do it.
Fine with me.
All right.
Hey,
Well, look, if
hey,
you are
Lake,
at the game, yes, sir. Go ahead. Go
you
ahead.
you actually so going back on that Terry resigning, you did call it. I think it was end of July or beginning of August when you got on Rio. I think it
Mhm.
was one of your initial resigning predictions was the end of August. So you had called it from the beginning. I'm not listen,
Oh,
not
Oh no,
don't
no, I appreciate, I
I'm
appreciate,
not
I
I'm not
appreciate the love
trying
because
yeah
people tell me I'm an idiot. They're like, "You're crazy. You don't know what you're talking about." I'm
yeah.
like, okay.
37
I
million.
remember
Oh
you
my
had said end
gosh.
of August is when
Well, I said that that's what he was asking for, did I not? I said he was asking for top money, and I know that. I'm not going to tell you how I know, but I know that. And I was like, and he's not going to get that. But people thought me saying that was disrespecting Terry, and I'm like, no, it has nothing to do with how great of a person and a player he is. It's about the economics of a salary cap
and
and the
he
economics of the age of a player on a salary cap. So I just thought it was brilliant how everything ended up being done. It's a big incentive based deal as well, and that's the way they're starting to do a lot of these deals. Like they're giving guys, you can get more money than maybe the contract would have given you if you hit certain incentives. And I like those kind of deals because it means guys are still gonna have to play. You guys remember how it used to be around here.
That's
They would
right.
pay these guys, and these guys would go out on the field
Yes.
and had a mask on under their helmets because they were
and,
stealing money. you
and the
know,
Eagles were
but now you're gonna have to earn it, and it doesn't matter if you're a star, a face of a franchise like Terry, or if it doesn't matter if you're the 53rd man on the roster. It's all about competition and keeping this thing humming where they're not going to take a year off. And because the Eagles don't take a year off,
Nope.
they just signed, like I said, Ladarius Smith. I know he was sitting out there,
but
but
still,
but when I saw it, I was like, that's so Eagles.
it
you know,
really is.
that's so Howie Roseman to just
Yeah.
keep stacking and keep stacking. But that's what Washington's doing too. And I
Mhm.
and I do predict this because everyone's been asking me about Kendrick Bourne because I did, I had said before he was even released with New England, just from knowing someone up there, that was going to be a thing. I do think he's going to sign here. I think he'll sign here next week. I know that what's been going on is that he needed some time because he has the connection with San Francisco. Absolutely has the roots out there, and obviously has Adam and company here. So he's just trying to make a decision that's best for his family, and I respect that. I really do. I'm hoping he realizes that best decision from a winning standpoint is here. Maybe proximity wise, it could be out there, and that's a real thing. So you got to keep that in mind. If he signs with San Fran, I would not be surprised. But I'm predicting he's going to sign here. I think he's going to be
They made the room,
another
right, with
receiver.
KJ. They let go of Osborne, right? So they made the room.
Yeah, I mean they have five guys on the roster as far as on the regular season roster at wide receiver. So normally you don't do that. And I
So who
think that
drops off?
no one, they just add. They just, oh, you mean
The
as far
53
as the
man
old
roster.
53
Yeah.
man roster? A quarterback. That's what that'll happen. Where you just, because you don't have to suit them up anyway. So you probably just drop Josh to the practice squad or something like that. And then you have Sam and Josh on the practice squad. The practice squad is not like the practice squad that we grew
Oh.
up with.
Mhm.
These are, I don't even like that term anymore. They should just, as opposed to just having practice squads, they should just take the rosters up to 70. Just do that. Because to have 17 guys on your practice squad, that's a lot of people.
Yeah.
So they're on the roster, and it's normally guys that practice squads are made up now of players that at some point were on the regular season rosters. So these are real guys. These aren't necessarily projects. Like, no, they're not good at all. These are guys that are part of your team. They're in your building. They're in your team meetings. They're doing everything the 53 guys are doing. So they should just go ahead and nix that practice squad thing altogether and just basically create these rosters, get them up to 70, because you're going to need that when you're going to these 18, 19 games that the league's going to eventually go to. So sorry, get on my soapbox, but these little things all go hand in hand. So, all right. So we'll wrap it up. But as always, I appreciate you guys taking time out of your day to chop it up with myself and with each other. And, again, if you are out there and you want to join us, it's simple. All you have to do is email the Lake Lewis Jr. Show at gmail.com. And I promise you, someone will get back to you. It may not be as quick as you emailed, but someone will get back to you. And every person in here can attest to that because someone got back to them and they're now part of the family. So once you join us, more than welcome. And we welcome everyone. You don't have to be necessarily a fan of the Burgundy and Gold. We've had fans of other teams come in, and we want this to be an opening platform. But as we always say, just keep it clean, keep it respectful, because we have a lot of fun with this and we want to build this thing out as opposed to tear it down. So my friends, I appreciate you guys. I'm going to see some of y'all tomorrow at the game. Make sure you reach out to me so I can check you out at some point. I can't give you my phone number right now over the thing, but
so how do we do that?
Yeah, all you got to do is just email me at the email that you got from me, and then I'll go ahead and just email me your number and I'll text you. So whoever's going to be at the game tomorrow, just do it that way. Sheila, I got your number. Will, I got you. But Gerard, like, if you're going to be there, just email
I'm gonna do it
me.
right now. I'm gonna email you right now,
and we'll get you there. All right. So
I'll send you an email later today too.
all right. Appreciate everybody.
Thank you.
Hail, Commanders!
Let's go.
Hey,
Let's
go
get
get a
it.
dub. Let's get a dub tomorrow.
Let's get a dub.
Let's
Let's
get
get
it,
something that
baby.
matches that helmet. All right, fellas.
One game
All right.
at a
And
time.
Sheila.
See y'all.
All right. Take care.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.